Every purchase is an impulse purchase. So if someone does eventually buy from you, even if they've been thinking about it for a long time, the moment they finally decide to pull the trigger and buy is an impulse purchase. That's why I say hard close. That's why people do false scarcity, all these things to try and get them to impulse buy. You can go and do a lot of research on impulse purchases, how they work, why people make them, etc. Everybody, after they purchase, the time between the money leaving the bank and them receiving the product, even if it's a few milliseconds, is going to have that little bit of, it's a lot of money I just spent. Every single purchase is an impulse purchase. Remember that. Keep it in mind. I've had a lot of people say to me, oh, you're selling impulse purchases. I don't. Mine's a considered purchase. No.
He's absolutely right. There's even a term for this. I don't know if you're aware, but cognitive dissonance is what he's talking about. When you click the buy button, you make the decision, and there's time that goes by. Like even after you got the product, right? You're thinking to yourself, like, did I make a good decision here? And the reason why is because we make decisions, like we buy based on emotion, and then we rationalize with logic. So you make a impulsive, emotional decision to buy. And then if someone would ask you, or even if you're talking to yourself, right? And you ask yourself, okay, why did I do that? Now you start rationalizing it, obviously with logic. But the real reason is emotion. So he's absolutely right. It's all impulse.
A house is an impulse purchase. A supercar is an impulse purchase. At the point of buying, it's an impulse purchase. No matter how long they consider it for, when they finally click send, it's an impulse purchase. So all the tactics and tricks I'm teaching you to get people to impulsively buy, work on every single kind of sale, because every single kind of sale is an impulse purchase. Don't get stuck up in some bullshit thinking, oh, mine's not an impulse, like you're better than everyone else. Oh, mine's not an impulse purchase, mine's considered. Shut up. It's all impulse purchasing, all of it. Everybody impulse purchases. And that's why you have to look, if you're gonna look at any kind of sales tips and tricks, look at impulse purchasing, how it works, why people do it, and those are the factors you need to implement, especially when you're trying to close a considered purchase. If you've been talking to them for a long time, you're trying to close them, bang, you're trying to convince them to make an impulse purchase.
100%. You need to get the emotional sort of load, emotional leverage up, so that they get into this position of, yeah, I really want it. No, I got to pull the trigger. That's absolutely right. And you're not going to get there with logic. Like it helps, obviously it helps. Like it needs to sort of kind of make sense. But if you want to get someone across the finish line, if you want someone to pull the trigger now, need to be emotional. Not so much, you don't need to be emotional. You don't have to shout and scream and cry, but you need to get them sort of invested into the whole process and get them fired up about this.
It's as simple as that. All sales are impulse purchases, and they're not buying on price. Those two go together very, very well. Remember those 2 points. It's important. So how does a real estate agent do that? Like a house is a considered purchase. This is where you're going to live, and it's very, very expensive. Well, they come and they show you around, they make you want it, and then they start telling you other people have won it. Other people are viewing the house, they're going to put in an offer, trying to force you to make an impulse yes or no. Okay, we'll take it. They understand. Everyone understands. It's always an impulse purchase. You have to put something there to make people buy. Make them do it, or they're simply not going to do it. Do not give people open-ended time frames. If I say, you can have this pen today for X amount, or you can come back to me anytime and get the pen. No rush. Why would I buy now? I'll live without the pen for a while until I really need the pen. And I'm not going to need the pen unless you convince me of the needs. So I'm never going to buy the pen. Everything's an impulse purchase. You have to convince them on needs, and you have to hard close them. This is something, just understand the nature of how people sell and how people buy, because this is the same with absolutely everything, no matter what it is.
And this is the same for every person, right? It's for you, it's for me, it's for every person that you'll ever sell to. People will try to put things off. So like Tate just said, if you're trying to sell a pen and I'm going to say, the price is $3. If you come back tomorrow, it's $3. If you come back next year, it's $3. There's zero incentive to do it now. So what are they going to do? Yeah, I'll think about it. And then they'll leave. I mean, that's what people do. Because if I don't pull the trigger now, not like a life-threatening situation, right? I'm not dying without the pen. Well, at least, I get rid of the whole cognitive dissonance. Did I do the right thing? I don't have to go through all that just by putting it off. This is why people don't get ahead. Like they put stuff off that they need to do. And it's up to you as a salesperson, as a marketer, to give them a decent reason to say yes now. Like, okay, you are going to get rid of this problem now. Let's get this done. Let's get it going. Let's get this off your to-do list. Scratch it through. Let's get going. Let's get all the paperwork done. And my assistant can get it started, and it's going to be awesome. Finally, you're going to go to bed tonight knowing that finally you did something to get this problem solved. Like, I'm going to handle this for you. That's awesome. That's what you want to do. Get them fired up about the positive stuff that's going to happen. and get them across the finish line.